Welcome to our first episode of Duck TV News this fall. I'm Adam Holmes.
And I'm Mandy Schuld.
The university's campus safety team is using 2012 to enforce some new changes. Duck TV's Susie Meyer has more.
Here at the University of Oregon, what used to be known as the Department of Public Safety is now officially called University of Oregon's Police Department. So what does that mean for students on campus? Duck TV News has a story.
With the name change, there's no difference in the way that we're deploying our services right now. So basically we have our patrols are primarily those public safety officers, and we do have 11 police officers on staff, but they're not usually engaged with regular patrols or response.
UOPD's #1 priority is campus safety involving off-campus hazards. However, many students seem to believe UOPD is cracking down on students.
You know, to be honest, I think they're pretty nice. They really aren't out here to, bust everyone contrary to popular belief. They really just want people to be safe and have a good time.
It's a common misconception, in fact, that somehow the Department of Public Safety or now the Police Department is here to somehow enforce things on students. And that couldn't be more wrong, couldn't be more opposite than that.
Students are concerning themselves with the proposed change in officer equipment and potential addition of firearms on campus within the next year.
Because I think the more people in authority that we have around us carrying weaponry, like visibly, creates a sort of nervous environment that people and especially students don't need to be in.
No equipment changes, there's not firearms being carried by officers on campus. That's something that we're going to be talking about on campus this year during the academic year 2012-13.
Students' votes play a large role in whether UOPD will ever carry firearms on campus.
For more information, please visit police.uoregon.edu. I'm Susie Meyer, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Susie. Since September 1st, the University of Oregon is smoke and tobacco free. The UO is the first public university in the state of Oregon to establish the rule. Healthy Campus Initiative Director Marcy Torres says it did not take long for students to find loopholes in the requirement because city-owned streets are not a part of UO campus.
We are working with the city. The city is actually looking at going tobacco-free as well on their sidewalks and streets and in parks and things like that. And so we're working with the city now to address some of those issues.
10 cities and 2 counties in Oregon have already prohibited smoking in public areas. The U of O and Lane County are hoping to work together to create a smoke and tobacco-free community. Lane County has made no official plans to implement a smoking ban.
A recent survey from the University of Victoria stated that 31% of students own ebooks or tablets, a 19% increase since 2011. However, when it came to school documents, only 3% of students use their tablets, while 46% still prefer hard copy books.
Last year's controversy concerning the University of Oregon football team and marijuana usage has introduced a new policy. In the past, the UO required student athletes to take a drug test only with reasonable suspicion. Over this past summer, the athletic department was granted permission for random drug testing on a temporary basis. At last Wednesday's public hearing, the new policy was passed. This policy makes it so any student athlete is subject to an unannounced random drug testing any month of the calendar year, even during the summer. Athletics will continue to test student athletes for illicit substances and performance-enhancing drugs. The first 2 drug tests a student athlete fails will result in counseling, substance abuse education, psychological evaluation, and a signing of a behavioral modification contract. A 3rd failed test results in suspension for half of the season, and a 4th results in dismissal from the team and loss of scholarships. UO is the 7th school in the Pac-12 to adopt a random drug testing policy for student athletes. Oregon State is in negotiations to adopt the policy as well.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Eugene is working hard to raise awareness. Students and staff have several options for getting involved in the fight against breast cancer, and many local businesses have pledged their time and donations. Dutch Brothers, an Oregon-based coffee shop in the Eugene area, is doing its part to stay active in the fight against breast cancer. All month, pink Be Aware travel mugs will be on sale out of all Dutch Bros locations. The mugs are $12 each and come with the buyer's drink of choice. The proceeds from the mug sales will be going to uninsured or underinsured women who can't afford screenings. The culmination of the Breast Cancer Awareness Month is on October 21st, when the third annual Race for the Cure will be held in Eugene. The race is taking place at Autzen Stadium this year and will give participants the option of a 5K walk or run. Breast cancer is the most common cancer found in women and accounts for 1 in 3 cancer diagnoses in U.S. women. The Susan G. Komen Foundation, which is in charge of the yearly Race for the Cure, lists several ways to reduce your risk of breast cancer. Have regular screenings every 3 years beginning at age 20. Know your risk and maintain a healthy lifestyle. To register for the Eugene Race for the Cure, go to ComenOregon.org.
Last week, a seminar in the EMU gave UO students the opportunity to learn how to boost their mental mojo by following a few simple steps. Dr. Jay Sutliff advises students to adopt a plant-based diet to decrease overall inflammation in the body. In conjunction with regular exercise, this will help reduce their stress and maintain a higher GPA.
We're trying to educate students on how we can synchronize our body cycles and our lifestyle cycles together so we can get our mojo on, so we can have better success, more energy, vitality.
In addition to dietary tips, Dr. Sutliff also says there is a direct correlation between the amount of sleep and GPA. Students who snoozed an average of 7 or more hours earned a GPA of 3.4.
Student safety on campus is a concern, especially when it comes to problems between pedestrians and drivers. Lauren McLean has the story.
Around campus, we see close calls between pedestrians and drivers all the time. Students who walk to class are confused about the laws related to jaywalking and whether or not they have the right of way.
In the city of Eugene, jaywalking is defined as failing to cross the street at a right angle.
Crossing the street at a 45-degree angle or less could cause a hazardous situation, and you could get a ticket for it. As long as you follow the 90-degree rule, it's legal not to use a crosswalk. But what if a collision still occurs?
Generally speaking, pedestrians have the right of way whenever they're at a crosswalk. Now, the crosswalk doesn't necessarily have to be marked. At an intersection, there is a general consensus that pedestrians do have the right of way.
If someone decides to cross the street at 90 degrees, cars then have the right of way. But it's not illegal if people do it safely. Students like Randy Ketchum know it's important to be alert around cars.
I was walking through a crosswalk and the car almost just hit me. I don't know. I guess I walked out in front of it, but they had a stop sign. So.
Avoid a ticket and keep yourself safe by always looking both ways and going straight across the street when crossing. For Duck TV News, I'm Lauren McLean. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Lauren. Despite high unemployment rates, there is some good news on the Oregon job front. On January 1st, Oregon's minimum wage will go up by 15 cents, from the current $8.80 to $8.95. This increase will make Oregon's minimum wage the second highest in the nation. Thanks for tuning in this evening. Join us next week for more campus and community news. I'm Mandy Schultz.
And I'm Adam Holmes. Have a good evening.